I have an excellent reason. By the way, right, love it. Central Time, 6 a.m. Central Time. I have a great reason. I was watching clips of Taylor Swift on New Heights podcast. I was watching all the clips I could find. It was like 996 views, 1.2 million views in the first 20 minutes or whatever it was of the New Heights pod. Absolutely incredible. I would have watched it last night, but the job requires me to watch the Phillies be terrible at baseball. Now, they're not a terrible baseball team. They played terrible baseball last night. After each postcast, I do a short, a YouTube short on what I just watched. And my number one takeaway was it would be hard to pack in more terrible baseball into one game. Now, we've seen worse than 8-0. We saw the Phillies get absolutely destroyed by the Brewers a few months ago in like a 17-7 loss and all that. That was really awful. But this, they scored 7 runs in that game. Now, granted, it was late in the game, but watching the Phillies yesterday was nauseating, especially when you talk about the misplays in the 6th inning. And then you talk about in the following inning, giving up a grand slam home run after Jordan Romano just flat out forgets to cover first base. And Bryce Harper gets a little lost in, I guess, what he thinks is no man's land at first base. And the same exact play happened the night before in game 2 of the series against the Reds, where Bryce Harper was like, should I get it? Should I not get it? I'm not going to get it. I am going to get it. I'm not going to get it. And then by the time he decides what he's going to do, Bryce's stats already got the ball, and he's like, I'm waiting for someone to get to first base, that is, whether it's Bryce Harper or it's the pitcher. Last night it was Jordan Romano, who was extremely, I'll say, late reacting and getting over to first base for even a shot of getting Ellie De La Cruz. Now, if he gets that out, you're out of the inning. That's it. That's out number 3. See you later. No grand slam. It's still a 4-0 game, and you probably still lose the game. Yes, I know they scored 4 runs in the 8th inning of game 1 in this series, and they ended up winning that game 1. But it doesn't really feel like the Phillies really have many of those innings up their sleeves at the present moment. You feel like you're more in the lull of a Houston Astros series down in Houston. That's what it feels like right now with this Phillies lineup. Bryce Harper's hitting over 200 so far in the almost the midway point of August. You have Nick Castellanos going 1 for his last 25. It hasn't been great, is what I'm telling you, offensively speaking. You have 8 hits in your last 2 games. You have 1 run in your last 18 innings of baseball. Yeah, it didn't really feel like Jordan Romano was really going to have much of an impact on that game, but maybe that's why he's pitching in a 7th inning when you're down 4-0. Maybe that's it. Oh, and that 1 run you scored was on a solo home run by Bryce Harper in the 9th inning of game 2. So, yeah, it doesn't exactly feel like the offense is, they're about to break out. Now, they might because, the Nationals aren't very good at baseball. And you might get a little bit of a shake up to this lineup with Justin Crawford potentially coming up tomorrow. And also Alec Boehm and Aaron Nola joining the pitching staff, which, by the way, you could think Aaron Nola is going to be the worst pitcher in the history of baseball in the time that he comes back. Yeah, I want to see somebody else pitch. And at this present moment, I am for, in a very rare instance, I am for a 6-man rotation right now. Very rarely am I ever for a 6-man rotation. In this instance, I am very much for a 6-man rotation. And if you're getting another starting pitcher up here like Aaron Nola, who, can be pretty good, then I'm all for it. Even if he's going to have an ERA of 4, and he's going to give you 6 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, whatever it might be. That's 4 or 5, 5 or 6 more innings than Zach Wheeler can rest, that Christopher Sanchez can rest, that Jesus Luzardo can rest, that Ranger Suarez can rest, I guess. He should feel more sharp than anybody considering the late start to the season for him. So, yeah, all the pitching you can get in here, let's go. So I look forward to him joining this Phillies team during this national series, this 4-game national series in D.C., but that was a terrible game last night. Yesterday, also, The Eagles held a training camp practice, joint practice with the Cleveland Browns. A lot of interesting takeaways from it on the field. I want to stop calling it a cornerback battle between Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, because right now what it feels more like is it feels like a Canadian standoff. Is that the appropriate term? I think the Canadians enjoy this term. And that's when you're at a four-way stop sign and everyone's just waving at each other like, no, you go. 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 Sorry. Okay. That's what it feels like between Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. It feels like, no, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. Jacory Bennett, you want to crack at it? No, you take it. That's what it feels like right now. Cooper Jean at the other intersection over there. Oh, no, you just take it because you're the bar right now. You're the standard. That's what it feels like right now. It feels like nobody wants to take this. Keely Ringo might have his confidence shot to all hell. Adoree Jackson, hey, man, I'm just happy to be in the league still. Get another opportunity to start after what went down with the Giants. That's great. Got benched, for being a starter with the Giants. And now Jacory Bennett, who is a guy that literally, I can't say it enough. Vic Fangio. Well, yeah, of course he's got the right to compete. And now he's getting reps with the ones. He went from getting reps with the ones in the open practice to not getting reps with the ones to getting reps with the ones again. No, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. That's what it's like following this. Brett Toth addressed the media yesterday. Hey, look, if everything goes correctly, by the way, he was fully with the ones yesterday at practice on the field. If everything goes correctly, then Brett Toth never has to start. That means Landon Dickerson came back and feels great and could go out there and play and start and all that stuff, and everything's great. But for all intents and purposes, yesterday, by his own admission, was a big struggle. And from what it seemed, he was having some issues there with the Browns' defensive line. Lane Johnson got beat by Myles Garrett. It's going to happen. Jordan Mailata got beat by Myles Garrett. It's going to happen. But for the majority of the snaps, those guys were winning their battles, which is obviously a good thing. But Brett Toth, while those other guys might lose a battle here and there, that means that obviously Brett Toth could be a guy that actually goes out there and does have some growing pains, does have some struggles. But it looks like right now the Eagles are going to be relying on him to take over those left guard reps, which, by the way, I think is the the best decision. Because I know there was some chatter going on about, would you move Tyler Steen? No, I would not. I always hate that philosophy. Okay, one guy goes down, let's get weaker at two positions. No, thanks. Let's have one guy just maintain what he's been doing, especially when this is still a guy that was a tackle in college, is now getting an opportunity to play at right guard and start at right guard. Last year was a bit of a tease for the right guard spot for him. Now that's fully his job. So have at it, Tyler Steen, getting rave reviews at training camp. But as far as the left guard spot goes, Brett Toth just did a fantastic, I'll say this, understanding that there's a big learning process in front of him, understanding that this is a huge opportunity for him, for even in the preseason, albeit just to put good film out there. And then he did something yesterday that I really respected. And sometimes you might chalk it up as tongue in cheek, but he put everything in perspective when it came to what it is he's trying to do. And he did all that while giving a huge tip of the cap to Landon Dickerson, who's obviously out right now with injury. And I thought it was a very classy thing for him to do, because, I mean, think about these guys. Your teammate and a guy you've known goes down with an injury, and then you're there to take his job. He's one of the highest paid guards in the league. He's one of the best guards in the league. He's already emerged as a leader. I pointed out the vocal leader that he is. And now you got to go battle and fill in there for your own livelihood. And Brett Toth went on about Landon Dickerson and how much this team's pulling for him and being back and all that stuff. And I thought it was very classy, and I thought it was a great perspective for Brett Toth out there yesterday. Still, Drew Makuba, he was able to get first-team reps yesterday at the safety spot. Interesting with Sidney Brown. I don't know if they're just trying to make up for lost time with Drew Makuba coming back from injury or not, but we'll see if the proof's in the pudding come Saturday afternoon when the Eagles and Browns kick off in preseason game number 2. And the offense just in general, I think it was Jeff McClain who just wrote about the Offense struggling yesterday at practice. But Jalen Hurts addressed the media yesterday. And there were two things that really stuck out to me about Jalen Hurts' mindset and his press conference in general. Two things really jumped out. One was the question that was actually asked by Jeff McClain about whether or not a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl makes him more confident as a quarterback. And then the other question was about Scott Loeffler, the new quarterbacks coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. So Jalen Hurts was runner-up to only Patrick Mahomes for the NFL MVP. This is over the course of his career. He's been to the playoffs every year. He's been the starter. He's played in 2 Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. He had like the highest efficiency rating ever for a quarterback in a Super Bowl, and the one they lost. Very easily, one call doesn't go, one call goes their way. You're talking about a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Can't leave that out. He's made an all-pro team. Can't leave that out. And now he's got not only a new play caller, but he's got a new quarterbacks coach. It might be easy for people to say, well, what is a new quarterback coach going to tell Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts acted like Scott Loeffler is, I don't know, his Mr. Miyagi. It was a really interesting, thought-out answer that he gave about his new quarterback coach. And I was like, okay, all right, maybe this guy can bring something to the table. No, he's got a pretty damn good resume, I'll say that much, including winning a bowl game with my Temple Owls, the New Mexico Bowl. How about that? I know, I shouldn't brag. Okay, anyway. But he does have it worked with, literally his first job was like working with Tom Brady. He was at Michigan when Tom Brady was at Michigan. He was like a student assistant or something like that on the graduate assistant on Michigan when Tom Brady was there. So, yeah, they've rubbed elbows, obviously, at Boston College. He was at Boston College, obviously, as well. I don't mean with Tom Brady, but he was at Boston College as a offensive coordinator. That's where he offered Kyle McCord, Eagles right now 3rd or 4th string quarterback, depending on how you want to slice it, a scholarship when he was at St. Joe's Prep. Head coach at Bowling Green. He did coach Dante Culpepper in an 0-16 season, along with Dan Orlovsky in Detroit. So, yeah, Scott Loeffler's he's been around. But Jalen Hurts talked about this guy like he is his guru, like he is his Mr. Miyagi, especially when it comes to the mental approach to the game, mental preparedness for the game. And he went on about him. And I'll let you hear every syllable Jalen Hurts had to say about Scott Loeffler as his new quarterbacks coach. So that's what we'll get into when it comes to training camp. Another round of training camp today. Their final joint practice against the Browns. Just two of them. And what we could be looking for. Also, Jalix Hunt, talk about a mindset shift. He literally said yesterday that when it comes to his approach to the game of football, Vic Fangio has had an enormous impact on it. He goes, I don't even know if I believe it yet, but I know I have to. Like in certain philosophies, Vic Fangio might be teaching. He's just like, yeah, I'm not going to argue with Vic. Like he gives me a state of mind. I'm going to go ahead and find a way to get to that state of mind because I've been brainwashed by him. I'm like, hey, whatever it takes, man, whatever it takes. Some nice flashes in your rookie season. Want to see you take that step forward coming up here in your sophomore season at the NFL level. So a lot to get into today with this. Oh, and yes, of course. I've said this all throughout, okay? Taylor Swift might be the biggest star in the world right now. Globally speaking, the biggest star in the world. Travis Kelce is an American football player who has won Super Bowls, might be the greatest ever at his position, okay? And obviously has a connection to Philadelphia with his brother, Jason Kelce, obviously. It couldn't be a more perfect union right now. Good for them. I don't hate the crowd shows or the camera show Taylor Swift during a football game. I don't care. Fine. Well, it'd be stupid not to. They do it. Good for them. And you know what? On a personal level, I love love. All right? I hope they love each other dearly. I hope they get married and have millions of babies. Okay? Okay, let's go with like 5 babies. I don't care. And I enjoyed the little insights into their relationship. For instance, Taylor's one of my favorite parts of this, if you haven't seen it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, she announced like a new album too, but whatever. I'm not into music enough to really care about that part. But anyway, she talks about getting the rights to her music back. I think that was the point. And she like talks about how she, quote, dramatically collapsed on the floor with emotion, and she's on the phone with her mom, and her mom's like, you got your music. She owns the rights to her music again and all that stuff. And the Masters is it's called. And she's like, I got to compose myself and go tell Travis, and he was playing video games. And anyway, so I got my music back. And that little throw in of like he was playing video games, it just, at some point, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's like, can you stop playing video games for a second and help me empty the dishwasher? Like, even at that level of fame, there are still mundane things that might get under your skin in a relationship, even if it's Travis Kelce and it's Taylor Swift. She also talked about how she knew nothing of football. She really didn't know anything about it. And she thought that like quarterbacks faced each other on the field. She asked what it was like to be looking across the line of scrimmage and see his brother playing, Jason. And he had to explain, yeah, he's on offense, I'm on offense, never on the field at the same time. She's like, what? I looked at the comments of this. She's like, I thought Josh Allen, I can't remember the examples. I think it was Josh Allen and maybe it was Patrick Mahomes. She's like, I thought that they literally like were facing each other, and then you blow a whistle, then they go at it. And I was looking at the comments because I even thought, man, that sounds pretty awesome, actually. And then in the comments, it's like, did Taylor Swift just invent a better version of football? No, obviously not. You want to protect the quarterbacks. But from what I saw of it, which was just clips, and it was fun. It was fun. And again, I root for love. Has my wife been to a Taylor Swift concert? Maybe. She said it was the greatest concert she's ever seen. And I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, let's get back to your Philadelphia Eagles before I get back into the Philadelphia Phillies and read them the riot act. Yesterday, Jalen Hurts, he's the type of person that if you were to read the transcripts of his press conferences to anyone who wasn't an Eagles fan, anyone out of market, anyone who really doesn't watch Jalen Hurts, it'd be like, this guy, oh my God, come on. Like, nobody talks like this. But if I can invoke a line that I enjoy quoting from a movie, I believe it was The Prestige. He lives his act. It's a body double. Okay, all right. He lives his act. Jalen Hurts lives his act. This is the way he lives, and it's not an act. It's actually his life. This is how he thinks. He always wants more. And I thought it was a very interesting thing when he was asked about winning a championship and whether or not that increased his confidence. Jeff McClain asked the question. I think you can hear it. And then this is the way Jalen Hurts responded to the question of whether or not a Super Bowl championship has helped his confidence.
Yeah, you mean, yeah. When you get a promotion, do you think you're more confident? When you get a promotion? Have you ever been promoted? Yeah, well, I mean, it's, you chase a dream and, everybody's dream is to do that. And so once you know that you can, it brings a sense of assurance that you can, And I've said before, it's not a, it's a great question. You got me talking, but it's a matter of, if I've done it before, why couldn't I do it again?
Now, in all honesty, I did not expect him to go on and talk about how it really makes him have perspective on winning and looking at the team and saying, okay, this is what we need to do to get back to that spot and all that. Because, I would expect a little bit of that. But the thing I found so interesting about it is that any hint of last year, for the most part, has been dismissed up until this answer. And if there's anything you're going to hang on to from a Super Bowl championship that I could look at and say, okay, well, that's not a hangover. That's not overconfidence. That's not affecting this upcoming year in a negative way at all. It's that you can't deny the fact that you won. And this is the mountaintop. That is the mountaintop. Now, are you doing everything you possibly can to get back to that? Yeah, but the one thing you could say about every single champion the following year is that they know what it takes to get there. Before, you might think you know. You might have played with someone who's won it before, and they know, and they've told you, but you have to experience it. And when I was thinking about this yesterday, it was like becoming a parent. I think we all, if you're a parent, I think we all had opinions of parents before we were parents, and then you became a parent, and you're like, oh, they told me it'd be hard. they said it would be hard, but I was like, I got this. I got this. I can't believe they only let their kid eat mac and cheese. I mean, come on, you got to give the menu, right? Like, no. Sometimes the kid just for a week is just nothing but mac and cheese. Interested in nothing else. You win a championship and you go, oh, that's what they were talking about. Because they told me about what I had to do, but I didn't understand it until I did it. Like, I can wrap my head around the idea of what I have to do, but until I experience, I really don't know what I have to do. And now Jalen Hurts is going to be using his knowledge from last year to help this team this year. And it was the first time yesterday I heard Jalen Hurts talk about the positive of winning a Super Bowl. Yeah, confidence boost. I know what it takes. No, the end of that. There's no, and I say this all the time, there's no better argument for whether or not I can do something than I've already done it. There's no better argument for the fact that I could do something than I've already done it. Oh, can we do it? Like, self-doubt probably creeps in from time to time. I don't know if we got it this year. I don't know if this team's got it this year. I don't know if we're focused enough, whatever it might be. And then you're like, well, hold on a second. We might have gone through some lulls last year. Like, you mean to tell me that after that Carolina Panthers game, everyone looked at the Philadelphia Eagles and went, oh, yeah, they got this. Oh, yeah, they got this. No, that game turned out to be a bump in the road. And Jalen Hurts' worst game, he still had 3 touchdowns. So even if a worst game, he has a worst game, he has a terrible game, and you still talk about 21 points on the board? That ain't bad. That's pretty damn good. That's your worst? Okay. So it was the first time you heard Jalen Hurts really talk about winning a Super Bowl and a positive outcome from it, or positive takeaway, I should say. Because I go back to this all the time. Jalen Hurts is at his locker after the Super Bowl in a clean-out day at the NovaCare complex, and they're like, hey, what are you going to do this offseason? He's like, well, I'm so behind because I was busy winning that pesky Super Bowl. Damn it. Now everyone else is ahead of me in their offseason regimen. All right. That was the first thing that popped out to me about Jalen Hurts and what he said. He also, by the way, this guy just continues to throw compliments like Johnny Wilson and Jahan Dotson and, guys that are up and coming and all that stuff, really looking to make a more of a name for themselves. More so Jahan Dotson as a first-round pick than Johnny Wilson. But Johnny Wilson using his size really well, reeling in catches, being stronger in his catch radius, which is also important for a gentleman of his size. So all that was great. But then he got the question about Scott Loeffler, his new quarterbacks coach. And this is what I was really surprised that he took about 90 seconds on this topic. If I tell you Jalen Hurts, two-time NFC champion, a Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP, runner-up in the regular season MVP voting, a guy that's been to the playoffs every year. And by the way, he's already had a number of QB coaches, and play callers, more importantly. Hey, by the way, this guy's going to have a new quarterbacks coach, and he's going to teach him something? Really? What's Jalen Hurts going to get from Scott Loeffler, Well, apparently a lot. This is wild. Listen to this.
Yeah. Man, Scott is a wise, experienced, and passionate coach. It's something I value a lot, and I think I've learned so much. I think fundamentally, even in some regards, my overall, I'm not temperament, but I guess my approach. I think he's had a great influence on that in such a short time, and just the details from a fundamental standpoint of where to set my eyes and how to approach certain things, how to attack it, aligning different things from the quarterback position. I think he's allotted me some new perspective that I'll take in and carry throughout this year and hopefully throughout my career. And so I know he's been around the best of them. He's got a lot of great stories, and I value that wisdom. I know he's coached as a head coach, and he's been a quarterback coach, and he's been an offensive coordinator, so he kind of knows it all. And I know for Scott, he's very excited about his opportunity just to enhance my game. That's one thing he says all the time. And, I think we're aligned from the standpoint of just trying to win more championships.
That sounds good. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Wise, experience, learn fundamentals, approach and details, focusing on that, where to set his eyes, new perspective on the game. And I love this because I think, like, you try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like, how would you approach Jalen? Hey, congratulations, you've just been hired as the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks coach. Oh, who needs coaching up? Jalen Hurts. Huh. How do I get his attention? For lack of a better term, what's my elevator pitch? Okay, salespeople, what's your elevator pitch to Jalen Hurts that you're gonna be a difference maker in his career? Well, I mean this to come off as absolutely genuine and not disingenuous at all. Opportunity. I'm excited for the opportunity to enhance your game. Enhance your game. Not, hey, I'm going to really make you improve. Enhance your game. It kind of implies, I kind of got this already, but everyone can improve. And you might be able to crack the code on helping me improve on very specific things. I have no doubt that Jalen Hurts has absolutely done his homework on Scott Loeffler. I have no doubt that he did go back and even see, oh, wow, he was a graduate assistant when Tom Brady was slinging it at Michigan. Interesting. He has had a long and windy road. NFL, college, was under Audazio, by the way, when he was at Temple University, up there at Boston College as well, before he got his own gig at Bowling Green. Yeah, he's been around a minute. Find it very interesting. And I expected a generic, yeah, Scott's great. Working with him is great. Comes with a lot of experience, and looking forward to seeing what else we can do. Like, very down the line. This answer was almost methodical about his new QB coach. So, hey, the reason this means something as far as I'm concerned is it shows even more so how open-minded Jalen Hurts could be to the idea of anybody being able to help him. And this is a guy that you look at his resume and you say, oh, yeah, this guy could certainly help him in that regard. Also, it comes on the heels of the Peyton Manning story coming out about, and we talked about this earlier in the week, Jalen Hurts reaching out to Peyton Manning as often as he does to talk about these little nuances in these plays that the Eagles run that are very similar to what the Colts were doing with Peyton Manning. I found it interesting that Peyton Manning even brought back Tom Moore's name, who, I mean, it was an offensive guru, was around Peyton Manning for all those years in Indianapolis. He was in Arizona. He certainly made his rounds in the NFL. So there are hints in this offense or little nuggets from this offense that go back to even Tom Moore. And Jalen Hurts is playing detective, trying to go back and really understand what's behind every nuance of these plays. So really interesting stuff from Jalen Hurts yesterday. Again, just throwing out compliments to his wide receivers and all that. Kevin Patullo treating all this like a game, as he should. Getting guys ready first, second, third down, and all. Make sure the plays are in on time. Making sure the communication is crisp. Making sure that there's no missteps along the way to make sure that this offense is an efficient machine. One thing we didn't see too much of in preseason game number 1 against the Bengals that I think we're going to see a little bit more during the regular season is the up-tempo offense that Kevin Patullo talked about in his first press conference of training camp. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that when the season starts. I don't think we're going to see any of that in preseason. The only thing I was excited to see in preseason from Kevin Patullo, other than just it looked crisp, was throwing to the running backs. And yesterday when Kevin Patullo addressed the media, it was interesting. Will Shipley caught the ball a lot at Clemson. And A.J. Dillon has certainly caught the ball in his NFL career, but, I mean, I wouldn't say he's like a receiving running back. But saw him get the ball in his hands quite a few times, or at least attempted to, in preseason game number 1. And yesterday, Kevin Patullo, when he was addressing the media, he talked about A.J. Dillon being a really good pass catcher, catching the ball well out of the backfield. Will Shipley looking forward to using him more as a pure runner. And I'm like, that seems backwards. And then this could be the rope-a-dope of preseason football. But what's the one instance where I could say, if I really had to nitpick with Kevin Patullo about something that seemed weird, odd, not the best foot forward for this offense, was Will Shipley got the ball 3 straight times in a 1st and goal situation from the 5, if I'm not mistaken. Now, to me, that would seem like in the regular season, that would be more A.J. Dillon territory, but apparently not. Again, this could be the rope-a-dope of preseason. Show them this. They might expect it. Or it could be, hey, let's just not have A.J. Dillon out there yet. And then when he is in there, we'll throw him the football. And everyone else will think when he's out there, we're throwing him the football. But really, we're running it up the middle. It could be the misdirection of preseason play. But that's the one thing I looked at and went, this is interesting. Will Shipley is getting these carries. A.J. Dillon's going to play tonight, right? But in his press conference, he talked about Will Shipley as a pure runner and A.J. Dillon as a pass-catching running back. All right. Let's see it. Or maybe the whole thing is misdirection. Maybe the whole thing's the rope-a-dope. So found that interesting from KP yesterday, and all good things. The one last thing I'll mention about the Eagles as far as addressing the media. Now, we've talked about the cornerback position, the battle, if you want to call it that. No, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. Jacorian Bennett's name seems to be legitimately in there now as getting first-team reps. Same thing, like Adoree Jackson's still getting first team. They're all splitting reps, but now they're splitting it 3 ways as opposed to just 2. Cooper DeJean just says, yeah, whatever the team needs me to do, I'm ready to do. When it comes to safety, when it comes to outside, when it comes to nickel, whatever it might be. Quenyon Mitchell also addressed the media yesterday. Whatever the team needs me to do. This is going to be what a lot of people are. This is the answer. When Vic Fangio is your defensive coordinator, yeah, whatever you want me to do, I trust Vic. Zach Bond was running around there yesterday, limited, but said he felt great, like he hadn't missed any time, all that stuff, so that's great. He did speak very well about Jahad Campbell and just his time returning from or getting better from a back contusion. Zach Bond was saying in his time not playing, he really had time to sit back and kind of not only study and get the mental reps, but also study who's around him now. And he's just like, Jahad Campbell, everything you want to hear about a rookie, you heard. It came to the natural ability, the strength, the speed, the agility, how he hits the tapes and all that stuff. Just student of the game. Everything you want to hear about a young player, you heard. So that was encouraging. You got a lot of good stuff yesterday, but there was one thing that I thought was very interesting, and that is Brett Toth. When he addressed the media, of course, he talked about the opportunity that's in front of him, but he really went into depth here about, hey, like basically, I'm just holding down the fort for Landon. I'm going to try to make the most of my opportunity, but let's not get this twisted. I'm only getting this opportunity because one of the best in the business is not available right now because of injury. I thought this is a really nice way to handle this, a really respectful way to handle this for Brett Toth, that both addressed the mission that he has in front of him, but also respected a guy who he's trying to fill in for in the meantime.
Same thing. Whatever position shows up, whenever they ask me to do, I'm going to step to the plate, give it the best I got, and hopefully I can perform to the standard that was before me.
Stepping into this situation against a joint practice, how do you feel you did against the Browns defensive line?
Well, first, I just want to speak on one thing with the injury to Landon. Just in this profession, I feel like so many people, you realize it as a player, it doesn't stop. Landon goes out there and puts his livelihood on the line every day, and him so more than anyone. You see how banged up he is. It's just a testament to not only him but a lot of us, what we do every day, and him doing whatever way he can get back as soon as possible is also a testament to who he is as a player and as a man. You just can't harp on that enough as well. You know, it's, again, this world doesn't stop. It's next person to step up. It's a business. But I just want to make sure I say that about Landon. We love him, and we're wishing for a speedy recovery.
He went on to also quote Brandon Brooks, former Eagles right guard. Now I believe Wharton School of Business graduate, Brandon Brooks. And it's a quote that we've heard, and I don't even know who to attribute it to, but I don't think Brandon Brooks was the first one to say it. But either way, it's a good quote, and it's very simple to lose track of this. But the other team's getting paid too, and Toth in his getting broken in with number one reps, he's trying to remind himself that, hey, yeah, you're going to have rough days because guess what? That other guy over there is a first-class athlete. They're going to get opportunities, and they're going to beat you. It's about how you're going to respond to those opportunities. It's similar to what Jason Kelce would say from Rocky Balboa. It's not about getting hit. It's about getting hit and getting back up, that kind of thing. Keep pushing forward, getting hit and keep pushing forward and all that. Toth's getting an opportunity to put himself on some good film. And I hope he does it because I thought that was a class act. Because not a lot of guys will just mention it. He really went into it, and I want to make sure I give a hat tip to that one. Eagles back at it today, practice field with the Cleveland Browns before their preseason game number 2, Saturday, 1:00 in South Philadelphia. Also, I hope to gather some great bites for you guys over the weekend. Saturday, I have the wonderful fortune of hosting Jason Kelce's short film / commercial Brewmite for Garage Beer in Phoenixville. I haven't seen Jason in a while, face-to-face, that is. Obviously, he's all over the place. But I'll be hosting that event. I look forward to having some fun stories for you guys on Monday, for Monday's Farzy show, about the goings-on behind the scenes. I think Bo Allen's going to be there. Chuck Liddell's going to be there. I think Taylor Swift's going to be there. I'm kidding. She's not going to do it. Hey, you never know. She did the podcast, for crying out loud. Maybe while Travis is playing video games, she's going to hop on over. I don't know. But, yeah. So, got that going on Saturday, so I look for some fun stories for you guys on Monday morning. I hate reverting to, well, at least the Mets lost, but at least the Mets lost. Phillies stay 5 games up on the Mets in the NL East. We'll get to how the Mets lost a little bit later, but Philadelphia Phillies yesterday packed a whole lot of bad baseball into 9 innings. They managed just 3 hits in the ball game after managing just 5 hits in the previous game. They've managed just 1 run over the last 2 games. That's fun. That's a good time. They've scored just 1 run in their last, I think it's 19 innings, because the 4 runs that came in game 1 came in the 8th inning. So that's a good time. We're having a good time. I believe they're 1 or 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position in the series. Nick Castellanos was 1 for his last 25. Ranger Suarez has an ERA north of 6.50 in his last 5 starts. And Christopher Sanchez last night went 6 innings, allowing 4 runs. 3 of them were earned. I need to understand how the hell this makes any sense. So just bear with me here for a second. In the 6th inning of yesterday's ball game, I want to make sure I have. Do I have this in front of me here? I do have it in front of me here. So Hayes double scored. Marte scored. Throwing error. That was the first error. When was the second error? Why isn't that coming up here? Oh, that's the wrong button. Huh. I thought they charged Brandon Marsh with an error with a high throw home, allowing the run to score. Yeah, that's Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Yeah, okay. So Marte singles. This is the Little League home run in the 6th inning of yesterday's game. Hey, Austin Hayes, because of course he does. He comes up, gets an RBI double, bringing De La Cruz home. De La Cruz, by the way, this is all with 2 outs. So De La Cruz scores from first. He was going on the pitch. So even if Brandon Marsh fields this ball cleanly, he wasn't charged for an error on this play. But even if he fields this cleanly, I don't think he's getting Elly De La Cruz out at home. So then Marte steps up there. He singles to left. Brandon Marsh fields it, fires home, throws home high. Now, it was almost a play similar to JT Realmuto's tag from Johan Rojas' throw from center field against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Remember that? That was incredible. It was almost that play again, but the throw was a little up the line, and it was definitely high, and JT couldn't bring it down for the tag. So the run scores. He gets charged with an error on this. Now, Hayes is walking around home plate and following the baseball. Christopher Sanchez jumps on it. Now, I guess Sanchez didn't realize at the time that Bryson Stott was called for interference, so Marte would have reached third anyway on this. He would have been awarded third base. But in the speed of the moment, in the heat of the moment, Sanchez fields the ball, fires well wide of Otto Kemp at third base, and that allows Marte, the ball goes up the left field line, and that allows Marte to come home for the Little League inside the park 2-run home run. It goes from a 1-0 game in this inning to a 2-0 game on Hayes' double to a 4-0 game on the Little League 2-run home run. 2 errors happen on that one play. That right there is bad baseball. Now, all the while, the Phillies are not hitting. The Phillies are looking terrible. And throughout this ball game, they looked more and more lost at the plate. And I do give all the credit in the world to Hunter Green, who held the Phillies to just 3 hits through 5 innings of work and really looked like he never missed a beat. He had Bryce Harper swinging in circles, like corkscrew swings into the ground, that type of thing. He only struck out 6. 3 of those were on Bryce Harper's watch. The other 3 were 3 of them were on Bryce Harper's watch. There was one particular instance with Bryce Harper that really had me concerned more so than any other situation. And it was in the 6th inning. Kyle Schwarber gets a 2-out double. So, oh my goodness gracious, in a 1-run ball game. It's 1-0. Phillies have a runner in scoring position with Bryce Harper coming to the plate. Then, on a pass ball situation, you got a runner on third base with 2 outs in a 1-run ball game. 1-0. They were the Reds. Bryce Harper swings at the first pitch. It's a slider. Was never in the strike zone. He just flailed away at it. Went fishing. Swing and a miss. Then it comes to a 3-2 count. Gets another slider. That's right. Hunter Green bookended the at-bat with sliders. And Bryce Harper swung, fished at those pitches the exact same way and was struck out in a 3-2 count. Between those sliders, he got, I think it was 3 fastballs. 2 of them were out over the middle of the plate, and he missed them. These are 100-mile-per-hour fastballs. I'm not saying they're the easiest things in the world, but, Bryce Harper's supposed to be really good at baseball. And unfortunately, he can't time these. He can't barrel them up, and he ends up going down swinging. First pitch slider, laid off the splitter, laid off another slider that was very much inside. He offered at a fastball, low in the zone, but in the zone and middle of the plate. Fouled off another fastball. That one was up in the zone, middle of the plate. Laid off a slider, 3-2 pitch. I said in this moment, he has fouled off 3 of these fastballs. He ain't getting another fastball. He's going to burn something here. Burn. He's not going to give him something to hit. At this point, you're not burning. You're putting him on. And Bryce Harper still swings like he's getting a fastball and flails away at another slider. He had laid off him. I said in the moment, he ain't getting another fastball. On the broadcast, even, Ben Davis, former catcher, Tom McCarthy. What's he getting here? He's going to get a backdoor. He's going to get a back foot slider. Back foot slider. He ain't getting a fastball. He didn't get a fastball. He got the back foot slider. Strike 3. That was just one example of Bryce Harper's struggles yesterday. It has been a bit of a struggle lately for Bryce Harper. I know he hit the home run yesterday. Whoopity-doo. I'd rather him do it than not. But looking at the last handful of games with Bryce Harper, it feels like he has certainly come back down to earth in a lot of ways. And when you have an offense that's starting to go into a lull, you want to make sure this guy is on top of his game. You're talking about now 46 at-bats in the month of August. He's hitting 196 with a 245 on-base percentage. Over the last week, he is 3 for 24. That's a 125 batting average and a 160 on-base percentage. That ain't gonna do it. Over the last month, he's hitting 245. He's got 8 homers in that span. That's good. So that's what we're looking at right now with your Philadelphia Phillies. And 7th inning, just to reiterate this one. Oh, my goodness, Jordan Romano. What are we doing? Gets the 2 outs in the inning. Doesn't cover first. You get the bases loaded now. Very next batter, Miguel Andujar, gets a 2-2 slider, and he just grabs it and puts it over the left field wall for a grand slam. Goes from a 4-0 game to an 8-0 game, and that felt like it was it. Because it was it, as a matter of fact. So that's the way that one went down, unfortunately. Phillies right back at it today. They're going to be in D.C. 6:45 start time again in D.C. But here is the good news. There's the best news to come out of yesterday. Well, Alec Boehm homered, so that's good. The other thing is that the Braves came back on the Mets for, how about this, an 11-6 victory. The Mets were up 3-0 in the first inning. They scored another 3 runs in the second inning. So that's 6-0 in favor of the Mets. And the Atlanta Braves put up a 9 spot in the 4th inning. They go up 9-6. They end up winning 11-6. Philly's still 5 games up on the New York Metropolitans. So that's good. All right. Hey, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? Download the Game Time app. That's what you got covered right there on the Game Time app. Also, don't forget about the Game Time Picks feature, which filters out all the fluff, lets you get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. And don't forget about the Game Time guarantee. You find tickets on another site or app for less money, Game Time credit your account 110% of the difference. And also, you could view your seat before you buy it, so you literally take the guesswork out of buying tickets on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's phlsportsnation.com. Also, check out Brett's amazing inventory at Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Before I get into the chat check, I think this is Vic Fangio sitting down to evaluate the outside corner position for people not named Cooper DeJean and Quentin Mitchell. Ugh. Thank you. All right, let's get into the chat check and see how your wonderful people are doing. Rye, good morning, Rye. What's going on? Hopefully everyone watched Taylor Swift, Daughter of Superfan on New Heights podcast. I watched the clips. Jason A, hello. Sean Gillespie, hello. Horrible loss last night. I assume that means the Phillies, yes. Rye, once again, I did laugh out loud at this. That is funny. 6 o'clock. It's Central Time, guys. Just kidding. Jason A, Farzi loves love. I do love love. I love love. Okay? I don't care. I'm a helpless romantic. I don't give a damn. Don't at me. Sorry, I love love. Terry Von Skyber, hello. Good morning. Only thing about last night, the Mets blowing the 6-run lead. Absolutely. And then getting spanked. They did get spanked. How about that? Hate breeds champ. Am I saying this right? Hate breeds champ. Schnapps. What? I don't know. What's going on? I'll be the one to say it. We could stop seeing Taylor Swift with football Goodell already. Makes me want to puke. She's the icing on the cake. Oh, Goodell makes you want to puke. She's the icing on the cake. If you're running the NFL, if you're running a business at all, and the biggest star in the world is in your building, you're going to put her on camera as much as humanly possible. And I give a lot of credit. Trevor Noah, was it the Oscars? I forget what it was. Trevor Noah did a great bit where he was in the crowd and he was just like, we're going to do something different. We're going to show Taylor Swift, and then we're going to cut to somebody who was in the NFL. And there they are, former Eagle Terry Crews. Never played for the Eagles, but he suited up in preseason, I think it was. I can't remember. But I thought that was a great bit. But yeah, I don't care. I am not Taylor Swift. I go, oh, good for her. She's you realize she's a genius. I marvel at geniuses. I really do, because I am so not one. And I knew that at a very early stage in life. When they say, hey, congratulations, you just finished kindergarten. I'm like, oh, cool. And then they're like, oh, you're going to go again. I'm like, what was that? So that's right. Repeat kindergartner for those that didn't know. She's certified. She's a genius. She's just on another level than other people. I've talked to people that knew her growing up, vacationed with her growing up. And they're like, she wrote a book when she was 9, a full book. She wouldn't go out with other, if we were going out, whatever, family's going out, she wanted to stay home with whoever just to write in this. It wasn't a journal. It wasn't a diary. It was a book. And they read it and they're like, it was a full blown story, perfect character arcs. It was just ridiculous, just on another level. So and look, she's from Reading. I know she claims Nashville. By the way, credit to Jason Kelsey, who was reading the bio. I love intros. Intros are one of my favorite things in show business. And Jason Kelsey absolutely nailed it. He was just like, yeah, she's from Nashville, Tennessee. And he just goes, bull. And he goes, she's from Reading, Pennsylvania. It's wonderful. Cousin, what's up, cousin? Jason A, I still think Ringo is the starter. I don't know. I really do feel like it's a toss-up of not very good right now at the opposite corner spot. Jason A was the plan. That was the plan the whole time. Oh, for Ringo to be the starter? It is. It was the plan, I believe. But it doesn't really seem like he's taking it and running with it. Tyvita! What's up, Tyvita? Nice to see you. Saul, hello. Good morning. Good morning. Eagles fan, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, oops, sorry, Saul. Good morning. Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds. And a go Birds to you, too. Jason A, Farzy, most artists that got their masters don't last long, if you know what I mean. Conspiracy. Kesha just was involved in a whole thing, crazy thing. A lot of craziness, awfulness, as a matter of fact. But one of the things that she was going through is trying to own her own voice again, which I think she did win. It's crazy, man. I only know that because I was listening to a podcast. She was on Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And I listened to that while I was mowing the lawn. It was very entertaining. Sean Gillespie, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are a thing? Amazing, right? Michael, I don't know. Sean Gillespie, Michael Caine impression. I don't really call it a Michael Caine impression. I can't do his voice. I can't. I think I have the cadence, but I don't have his voice. James Jones sounds real good, but it doesn't always work. I'm sorry. Don't know the reference. Damn, every year with a different offensive and quarterback coach, all those Jalen Hurts haters just ignore it, right? Saul Chavez. Y'all see Campbell next Garrett. Crazy. I don't even need him to be Myles Garrett. I'm looking for more of a next Hassan Reddick. Can I get a little of that? Danny, hello. Jay State, Toth is a class act. That was awesome, right? Oh, Thomas, thank you, cousin. Appreciate it. Look forward to it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I appreciate that. Travis, does Travis Kelce still have the Vidal Sassoon hair? Oh, Sean Gillespie, phenomenal reference. Vidal Sassoon. For those that don't know, Vidal Sassoon was if you were watching TV and a commercial came on for a shampoo or something, and it was by Vidal Sassoon. It was, as Ron Burgundy would call it, salon quality hair. Rich, what's going on? Fars, the bro. Phils are up and down too much. Brewers are 12 game winning streak. Yep, they're pretty damn good. Jason A, just for you, man. Sean Gillespie, hello, the most successful kindergarten reporter in PA, or repeater in PA. Thank you very much. Pin 79. Morning, Forrest. Can't believe we lost with Sanchez on the mound. 2025 is a dirt nap for the Phils. Yeah, it still doesn't feel like a World Series team, unfortunately. Still doesn't feel like a World Series team. I think the one big overhaul that needs to happen is I don't trust Nick Castellanos as far as I can throw him. And I know other guys, Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, Brandon Marsh, they've gone through struggles this year and they've come out on the other side. The guy I don't trust in this lineup, there's one guy I don't trust in this lineup. That guy is Nick Castellanos. And if he's not providing you even good defensive play, then what is he doing? Max Kepler is another one that I don't trust. But I don't think Max Kepler is going to be playing enough to really affect my positive or negative vibes on the Phillies. But I certainly know that somebody else is. And that's Nick Castellanos. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farz. That is the Farzi Zone presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.